Oh, happy Wednesday afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Gary Gatto. Welcome to P1's Broadcasting's presentation of Round 2 of the eGP Hypercar Sprint Series. We come to you from the World Center of Speed, Daytona International Speedway. Joining me in the booth for the entire season is my sidekick here, Luis Gonzalez Nunez. Luis, we've kind of come to a track that both of you and I have a little bit more experience at than Portimao, Daytona on the road course. Even though that both of us are kind of oval guys, this is a pretty friendly oval, racer-friendly road course here. Not very challenging, but very, very fast.
It's very fast. It's really excited to be again here, especially in the road course. It's really. I feel more comfortable in this circuit, really, because everybody know about 24 hours Daytona, maybe in some short races like happened today, 45 minutes of race. So we have 12 corners, included the 12. The last one corner is turn 3 and 4. That's the one corner. So, anyways, it's gonna be a fun race. We have at least 13 cars today, so good for that. And you can see it's better to have the original or the what is the name? Well, the usually tracks you can see on the IMSA than the Europe tracks and also the new ones.
Yeah.
So excited for that.
See, all the way around here, pretty much wide open. This does utilize portions of the NASCAR oval, as you can see right here. Then the backstretch has the bus stop chicane, and then all the way through NASCAR ovals 3 and 4 into the tri-oval, and then shortly past the tri-oval into the infield for a short portion. To the International Horseshoe, the Western Horseshoe, then back out onto the oval. 4 minutes, 31 seconds here remaining left to play in qualifying. Nicholas Gessner is on the pole right now provisionally with a 132 flat. He was fast all practice long. Right now, P2 provisionally is, this is Jan Curbs. Jan Curbs is P2 at the moment. Watching Joe Foxhall take time at the moment. He is currently fourth. Just puts his Porsche fourth there on the timing chart. The Porsches, not very many of them here in the lineup. Only two. You see both of them right there in your shot. We got two Cadillacs and a whole bunch of Acuras out there. No BMWs.
I think so. We need to speaking about how hot is the track. It's 139 Fahrenheit. In our mind is I says 50 something. Oh, let me see. It's really hot track. So the thing is, we need to 59.
Nice.
So the drivers need to figure out in two keys. One of the brake in turn 6 because it's coming in full speed.
Yeah.
And when it's too hot, for sure they need to figure out is the tire is gonna get they're gonna lose the grip very fast because it's too hot. And also in turn 9 is the main brake, the post stop. So
yep.
We have to check these two corners. And also, sorry, the main one, the turn 1.
Turn 1, you carry a lot of speed in the 1. You can float the car out wide there in 1. 9, you're going to get a lot of speed going into 9, of course, because you're going to build up speed all the way from turn 7 onto the NASCAR oval, and then you really don't slow down that much in the horseshoe chicane. It's more of just slowing down enough to aim the car through it as you try to clip the curbs to make that time through the chicane as fast as possible. But you're right, the 6, 9, and 1 are the big braking zones here. These cars will carry the most amount of speed through there. As you see on the screen, we do have the temperature for the track, 139 as the temperature of the track. Ambient is 78. Watching Daniel Holmer now as he is traversing the track for qualifications. Don Michael Kremers right there, watching him. want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon on P1. Make sure to do us a big favor. We are a new channel. We are not a new team. We've done this before elsewhere. We continue to do it elsewhere right now as we build this channel up. The best thing for you to do is like this video and also subscribe to the channel. That's the best you could do for us right now. We certainly would appreciate that, seeing that we are so new. Normally, we're used to having at least 1,000 subscribers, and this is kind of new territory to rebuilding a new channel. So if you could do us a solid, that would be most appreciated. A minute left to play. Currently watching Cedric Holbloom last week's on the podium, followed by Julian Altena, or I should say Julian Smith. Julian was giving me a hard time. I wasn't saying. I don't say his last name apparently enough right. So I'm just like, okay, you're Julian Smith now. From now on, Julian finished on the podium last week as well.
Also, I already noticed now. So before 2 or 3 years ago, Danes have the pit limit until almost started in past to the
the pit limiter line, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's after turn 3.
Yes.
So after turn 2. So that's a good thing, because before we went full speed and always hit that wall.
Always hit the wall. That is true. It is one of the easiest pit-ons here for these cars. It is one of the hardest pit-off roads in these cars, because these cars, first of all, I mean, you're looking at them right there. This is Janusz Manahar, a longtime friend of the VOR series and the admins there, but you can see how wide these cars are. They are very, very wide, and that pit road off to get back onto the into the S's and then into the straightaway, which you into the International Horseshoe, it's just wide enough for these cars to fit one through. That's it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a good thing about these changes. So.
And the rule set for today, it's a 3.56 mile road course. It's going to be a 45-minute race. Unlimited fast repairs. Pit road speed limit is set at 55 miles per hour. This is a bit of a proof of concept of a larger series and a larger league being planned after this. So that's why we're kind of have lax rules on the fast repairs. But the 13 cars should be more entertaining than the last week's race, with I think we only had 5. So we'll see how this goes as we are getting ready to line up to go racing on the backstretch. Let's get into this here. And let's get you today's starting lineup. Here you go. Nicholas Gessner on the pole with a 132 flat. Old teammate of mine, Oscar Fredrickson. Oscar P2, 132.2. Joe Foxhole, 132.2 as well, as he lines up third. Jan Kurbs at a 132.2 as well, and he lines up fourth. Jesper Eriksson, fifth. Cedric Goldblum last week on the podium, sixth. Daniel Homer, seventh. Yanish is eighth. Dan Malachi, hopefully saying that right. Malachi is at ninth, and Julian Smith in 10th. And Don Michael Krimmers, again, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, he is 11th. And also not taking any time, but lining up David Morales and Robert Sadler, the host with the most, 12th and 13th. That is your 13-car field. As they line them up on the backstretch, we'll send them through the bus stop chicane onto the front stretch, and they will send them green with a rolling start here at the World Center of Speed.
So between the first, the pole guy, to the 10 is only separate almost a second. It's like a 0.913.
Yeah, Gessner was really by far and away the fastest guy in all of qualifying. So he's there with that. I think it's the eSports entry there of Ryder.
But our winner the last time is starting on 4th position today, so it's gonna be excited to see how it's gonna be handled with this situation on starting on 4th.
I see a lot of team cars out there as well, so we'll see how teammates will work with one another coming to green.
Oh.
Green flag, green flag.
And we are green and underway. A roughly 30-lap race, 45 minutes here as they battle in the one. Oh, one of the Porsches just sends it right up in the middle, and we got a spinner already. That's Yanish. And I believe that was Cedric Kolblum involved there. Everyone kind of getting through now, straightening things out.
Like a normal star, to be honest.
That's right. Everyone tries to fit through that, get into that. It's kind of a wide entry into turn one, but it narrows down as you have to go through those S's. Watching Holden get around Morales now as he recovers from that early incident. And into the Western Horseshoe. Meanwhile, the Ryder eSports entry are already kind of starting to break away with a teammate.
I think so. Joel have a kind of issue with the car because after that hit Cedric. The car I think is not really good on condition because I already went wide on turn 4 and now is I think so. He have a kind of problem with the brake.
All right. Well, he's going to bypass pit road for one more lap. As we now have 2 laps in the books here as the lap count is coming down based upon what they're doing. Oh, and he is going wide in the 1 and 2 here.
Definitely have an issue with the car.
Trying to keep it straight right now. Julian right behind him, wondering where he's going to go so he can get by safely. Julian on the podium last week as well. Let's jump from Julian's point of view and see what this looks like. Going through the Western Horseshoe. Getting ready to come back out on the oval. This is always an interesting part of the racetrack right here if you ever participate in the iRacing Daytona 24. It always seems that corner has a perpetual yellow flag at it. And it's not necessarily there was an incident in that corner because the corner for turn 1 is really not too far located away from that, and I think you're catching a little bit of turn 1 action there for the yellow caution entry. So watching Julian go through the bus stop chicane. As you see, they slow down just enough to aim the car through.
I'm not sure if it's the first car, the 77, and John is teammate. I don't know. Look like the same for my perception of my camera. Look like the same teammate, I don't know.
Yeah. I think they're same. I think 77 to 76 are. Oh, we got multiple cars spinning on the backstretch. Julian Altena has contact. We have Cedric Holblum with contact. We have Foxhall, I believe, with contact.
Oh, I don't know what's happened with the Yashi. I think it's slowed down by something problem, and Cedric didn't figure it out. So very, very unfortunate for the situation, because we have almost at least 2 cars out.
Who did he hit? I think it was Joel Foxhall. We'll go back and.
But you can see the car number 8 slowed down, and Cedric cannot do nothing.
And there we
He
see
braked on the line, on the driver line.
Yeah, let's see here as the 8 just all of a sudden no power for some reason, and Cedric right into the back of him. One of the Rider eSports sneaks through, but then Cedric, as he tries to evade, hits the Foxhall, and then Altena comes through. It looks like the Sadler and Morales make their way through this one. But a lot of cars damaged there, coming through the S's right before the International Horseshoe.
So, like I said, number 13, the car 8 is out of the race, and also Cedric in the pits for repairs.
So that's right. Back up to the front, yes, these are teammates for the Rider eSports. They are in 2 different makes. One is an Acura, one is a Cadillac. They'll make different sounds as well. The Cadillac a lot more throaty. The Acura a lot more high-pitched. You can hear it right there. The sound of the Cadillac kind of reminds me of the old Indy Racing League V8 engines, normally aspirated back when they launched the league. A lot of people don't like those, but that's kind of what it sounds like. Fredrickson is in 3rd. Jesper Eriksson, his teammate, is in 4th. Holmer is in 5th. So that that team all together, that team from Sweden, is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Dan Malachi, and again, hopefully I'm saying that right, correct Dan there for you. If not, please let me know. He's in another Rider eSports entry. So Rider is at 1st, 2nd, and 6th. And the first non-Team Sweden or Rider entry is Don Michael Kremers here in this maroon, gold, and white black entry. Looks very slick. Followed by Robert Sadler in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. And David Morales looks like he is a teammate of Don Michael Kremers. Holblum, Altena, 2 of last week's finishers on the podium, already out or at least on pit road for extended stays, as well as Foxhall and Manahar.
I think so. Julian hit the car, and the car is getting slide. So I think so. He's have a problem with the back, with the back wheel. So it look like it's going in a slide. So I think it's gonna take a while. So I see Joel, the number 13 and 8 is still 3 minutes in the car in the pits.
Yeah, they just went up on the jacks to get new tires, so I would assume that they are getting ready to come back out here soon. So we're back up to with the pace right now as it's being set of about as Curbs goes a little wide there in 1, trying to run down his teammate, as we are still hovering right around the 30 lap mark, give or take, for this race. We are 6 laps in, a fifth of the way through already.
So Julian is out the pit, so I think the car is going good so far for now.
There is Julian right there. Julian in the other Cadillac in this race. And the leader right behind him, Gessner, getting the draft. Julian staying low, braking early to allow the leaders on by. Into the International Horseshoe, allowing the leaders on by. Here comes Oscar Fredrickson. These are two teammates in the old VOR series, the IndyCar series. Fredrickson and his teammate Ericsson on by. And this really is the closest battle on the racetrack, although Sadler is trying to put a move on Kremers at the moment, down the backstretch, side by side, coming into the tri-oval area. Kremers goes super wide. Sadler, under braking, slides a little bit, but keeps it under control, gets the position. Move Robert up to 7th, up 6 spots. He's your biggest gainer of the race so far. Kremers back to 8th with his teammate Morales in 9th.
And also we have the battle for the 3rd position, Jasper and Oscar. Very close, the teammate.
Yeah, this is now the closest battle on the racetrack. How quickly they go through that course of the bus stop there. Have to hit those curbs. Here comes Ericsson getting a run. Is he just going to stay there? Oh, it looks like he almost got ready to give a bump draft. And Oscar keeps the position.
Kind of slice. I see the cars on the back. It's really look like slice in the brakes.
Yeah, temperatures this high. I gotta imagine there's gonna be a lot of sliding out there.
If you don't take good enough the pit stop, you can have a slow down penalties. So it's really try to take turn 9 to leave turn 11 very well. If it's not, for sure you're gonna get the slow down. And it's like at least almost a second or something like that.
You got to take care of the tires, too, as Ericsson on the inside of Oscar. Ericsson getting the position, moving him up to 3rd. Oscar down to 4th. Now we'll see if Jesper Ericsson here in 3rd has the pace to try to catch up to those Ryder eSport entries that are starting to pull away at the front. We're about a third of the way through this race. Thanks for joining us. Again, make sure you are subscribing and liking today's broadcast. Would appreciate that. Next week, we have one more race in this 3-race series. Next week, Road Atlanta is what they new change to the schedule. They opted to go from Mugello to Road Atlanta. So we'll do our take of Petit Le Mans, the 45 minutes of Petit Le Mans next week at Road Atlanta.
So the leader so far is going in 32.5. Maybe the slow he did is 32.8. That's the slow time he hit now. 33.7. So it's very consistent in the lap. And talking about the second is Jan, the last winner on the first race. 32, 33, 35, the slowest he have so far.
Well, that last lap, Jan, was just a tick faster, not by much, than Gessner. 133.733 versus Gessner's 133.741. So trying to pull him in. Purple lap right now belongs to Gessner. If you look at our timing and scoring tree, you see the purple number 1 here. That's not because he's in first place. It's because the number 1 is purple, is because he has the purple lap. That time of a 132.5 is his best lap. So next best lap on the racetrack at that time, or at the time right now, is Curbs. Curbs is a 132.568, so just a little tick slower.
So we have only 2 cars retired. Julian and Yashis is gone, but Joel is still in pits with 11 minutes. 12 minutes.
Yep,
sorry.
Getting worked on still. Trying to get a few more laps in. Cedric is now underway, and the number 10 is in 10th. I don't know if you saw this week, speaking of these cars, somehow, I don't know if it was an error or someone's trolling us or whatever, but there was was it an official race with these cars at Bristol Motor Speedway?
Well, if you say that, look like a fake thing, because who's gonna be racing but I saw the video. I watched a video on internet, and it's just a mess with a lot of cars running and jumping. It's like when I saw on the iRacing IndyCar in Dover.
Yeah.
I said, this is so stupid, but I went back and I see the Indy Racing League racing in Dover, and it's like okay. And also Eliseo crashed, and I think so in his leg he have I don't know, look like Terminator on his leg, so, and I don't know. So yeah, so could be a fake thing, and iRacing make fun for that. So
yeah, I wasn't sure if there was an official race or not. They said they accidentally chose Bristol. They meant to pick Canadian Motorsports Park, and they said Bristol was next in line and accidentally picked Bristol. I don't know how true that is, but we are now watching a battle for second slowly starting to form here, as Ericsson is now moved within a second of Jan Curbs.
Oh, it's coming now.
Yes, he's getting a lot closer now. And Oscar really is kind of right there with him. Yeah, when the Indy Racing League visited Dover, they visited there only 2 years, 98 and 99. And they did not come back for 2000. I believe they were going to try to come back for 2000, but really the only people that were really getting rich off of the Indy Racing League going to Dover was, at the time, G-Force and Dallara, as teams had to make orders the next morning for replacement parts for their cars. They were the only ones making money, as everyone else was kind of losing money on that whole deal. So, yeah, G-Force and Dallara was like, yeah, sure, send them on back. The stock car guys reportedly really liked it when the Indy cars went to Dover, because Dover went and did a diamond grinding of the surface to smooth it down. A long-time Winston Cup, Sprint Cup, Cup driver, whatever, Jimmy Spencer, who is a bigger guy, said he loved it when the Indy cars went there, because it made the track much more smoother for him and more comfortable, because he's a big guy in the cockpit and he wasn't getting rattled around so much. But even when they diamond grinded the surface there at Dover for the Indy cars, it was still very rough to the point that Tony Stewart, in the 99 race, his dashboard that, sticks up underneath the front part of the cockpit came loose and fell off in his lap because it became unsecured. So he had the whole second half of the race, he was kind of had his whole dashboard just hanging in front of him, dangling on by the wires there. So yeah, it was cool to see Indy cars race there, but definitely I can see why Indy cars don't want to go back there. That's why we have the IndyCar Oval Series here in iRacing, where we can occasionally race at Dover, which we've had. And the races there at Dover have been pretty exciting for the IndyCar Series. The speeds and qualifying over 200 miles per hour on a 1 mile high banked oval. But the last race we had there actually was a fuel mileage race.
So it's all faster. It's like my first time I was battle with Nita Groth, Matt Wagner, and it's getting so crazy. It's everything fast. It's like I don't know. I thought it's crazy Darlington, but no.
Yeah, and then we see Oscar Fredrickson having an issue into turn one. And that allows Daniel Homer, his teammate, to go on by. So move Oscar Fredrickson down to fifth now.
David Morales, some pits, he changed tires too.
Yeah, David Morales in the pits. So top three is Gessner, who has himself a 7-second lead. And this is no surprising. He was by far the fastest car in qualifying by a second. And P2 right now is Jan Kurbs. Right behind him is Jesper Eriksson by 1.3 seconds. This is about the closest battle on the racetrack. Although we go back to Robert Sadler. He's looking on the inside of Don Michael Krimmers. These guys have been fighting kind of back and forth. And we'll see who's going to outbreak each other as Don... Oh, here comes Robert into the pits.
Do you think the leaders are going to change the tires?
Well, remember last week they did not, remember Jan was like, probably wasn't the best decision, but it wasn't the best decision for performance. It was the right decision for the race, because if he'd spent more time on pit road, chances are he would have been Cedric or Julian would have been a lot closer to him. But we're watching Robert Sadler hitting pit road right now in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and he is getting new tires. And then once they're done with the tires, they will lower him on the jacks, then they will work on the fuel, and then they will send him on his way. Pit stops take about 30 seconds here as he's down on the way in, about 29.6 seconds here in the Hypercar Series. And his one stop for the race is done. He pits right at the halfway mark. We're now currently forecasting 29 laps into this. And see how tight that pit road out is right there. But we're right now forecasting 29 laps for the distance of this race.
I waited for David pass to the finish line, and I can tell you he took 58 seconds on pit stop. So when he started, once he entered to exit, so
Yeah.
should be depend how.
Oh, about a minute delta there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's depend how handled with the tires. I guess it's risky to go outside with the same tires, especially with the hot what is now here in the truck.
We'll take a look at the track temp here real quick for you. 139, up 1 degree. Gessner kind of not on the same pace. He's kind of backing off a little bit. Last time by, Curbs faster, 133.2 versus Gessner's 133.7. And when you have a big lead like that, you can back off here and there, save a little fuel, maybe extend your run. A 45-minute race is right about at the pace we're at right now. It's going to be about 100 miles is about what the race distance is going to be. Gessner, a little bit of a loose condition there in turn 1. Catches it through the S's into the International Horseshoe. Right there next to where they have the carnival in the infield.
Do you visit Daytona? Just
I've driven by the race course. I've never been in the race course. I went to Daytona Beach for spring break a couple times, and yeah, I've driven by it, but I've never been in it. And I have one Daytona 24 start to my credit. Now I'm never doing it again. This was kind of before the hypercars came on the service, excuse me, and it was the Lara P217 is what the fastest car was in the class that we were racing in for our race, and every single lap I was so nervous just because I'm not a road course racer, but I also know that I'm in one of the fastest cars compared to the other GT cars out there, and I just didn't want to wreck into somebody. And both my stints were, well, let's just say not good. And I decided to retire at least at this point in time in my iRacing career from doing endurance. In any of the if I can talk, in any of the endurance supercars here at Daytona, there were just so many cars on the racetrack. Your head is on a swivel, and you're just, who's behind me, who's in front of me, who's pitting, who's coming out of the pit, where's the caution at? There's just so much going on. I'm sure these guys are a lot more relaxed in the car, knowing that there's only one class out there. And Gessner wide into the Western Horseshoe there.
We have John in pit so now.
Jan Curbs in pit road. He's down and away.
He didn't change.
Well, let's double check that. I think you're right. No, he did. He went up on the. Right there. We see right there. He went up. He went up on the jacks. We don't have a good camera shot there. We'll get another one.
I guess he took 50 seconds to.
Yeah, there it is.
Enter to exit.
And then he's down and away. So that was a good pit stop for him.
Need to see the leader if he's coming soon or not.
Yeah, I don't even remember where my team finished when we were in that race.
Now that is coming.
Coming to about the 2/3 mark at lap 18. With Gessner, the leader on pit road. Up on the jacks immediately. Watching them do his service. as Ericsson goes to the lead, down and away, right there at the end of pit road. Does not have to wait to get off the button, or actually, you got to be on the button. I'm sorry. You got to go all the way around here on the button.
It's coming, Jan. Very close. It's going to come in on the exit.
Jan sees it, gets a little bit of squirrely there through the start of the S's. But put Gessner out in front by 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
He basically gained 8 seconds on pit stop.
Yeah, he did. And we'll see Gessner on pit road, or excuse me, Curbs, when he pitted, 49.7 on pit road, 18.9 in the box. Gessner 53.6 on pit road, 22.1 in the box. So all the way around, Jan Curbs with the more efficient stop and gained him a lot of time. But does he have enough time here? We're coming to 10 to go. Can he capture the leader? Ericsson is the leader at the moment. Holmer is second, his teammate. Oscar Fredrickson on pit road is in third. He'll give up third to Gessner. We'll see if the other Swedish entries decide to pit here soon. I believe one pit stop at least is in order for at least fuel. Tire changes are not mandated, as we saw last week. We'll see if Ericsson makes that turn down pit road. And going through the field a little bit to see what's going on. Just watch these guys just aim their way through that international horseshoe. Like when the Indy cars come here, when they race IndyCar here for iRacing, when the IR18s hit that horseshoe area, it's like little darts shooting through. Here comes Ericsson to pit road for his stop. Holmer is going to stay out one more lap. The Swedish team's going to kind of split strategies here. 9 to go.
Do you think IndyCar have to open mind to come in here and race here?
Well, they did test back here in the mid-2000s. Those pictures are on the internet. You should be able to find. They use the Moto course, which is a variation of this international or the what is called the Sportscar road course. And there's Gessner with a 132.4 with the new purple lap notification top of the screen. There was thoughts of when they were doing it. It was kind of a compatibility test when they came here, and they came here in the old IR05 cars, not the 12s or the IR18s. So they came back here in the IR05s, I believe, and it was a compatibility test, and they tested okay compatibility wise. And then they thought of this at least being maybe a new spring training home as a replacement to Sebring, but it just never really went anywhere after that. I don't know if the Daytona promoters weren't interested in it, or if IndyCar just says that there might have been some things that they did not like when the cars were on the high banks that they didn't want to really address for a one-off race, so they just never really made anything more. Here comes Holmer to pit road. But they did. Oh, he sped. I don't know if he's going to have a hold on him. We'll see. That's going to give the lead back to Gessner as he's just exiting the bus stop. But if you come for the 24, I mean, pretty much the entire lineup has the entire IndyCar field in it as drivers or former IndyCar drivers. So Gessner back to the lead. Curbs back to P2. He is now 3 seconds behind Gessner. Jesper Eriksson is now third. Homer fourth, coming off of pit road. Will he beat out Fredrickson? Yes, he will beat out Fredrickson. Fredrickson's just coming into one right now. So that's it, really. We're going to watch him here for the next 8 laps, see if something happens that's going to cause the order to change up. Closest battle on the racetrack is back here for 9th between Sadler and Morales, 2 seconds. Actually, it's Sadler and Kramer, excuse me.
Oh,
You see it?
Cano Morales. Yeah, Cano Morales don't want to leave the lap. And
Oh,
yes.
oh.
So if you're gonna check the stop boss, he didn't leave the lap to the leader, to Gardner.
Wow, that's some hard racing right there to want to stay in the lead lap. Morales now down a lap. He was fighting for it, and it cost him. It cost Gessner a little time back to Curbs. Curbs now within 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Now, whether Morales will give the same type of racing to Curbs, or will he be more courteous to Curbs and allow him on by?
Well, I know you cannot. It's not 50-50. I know it's 50. Like I don't want to lose a lap, but also you have a 50 to leave the lap for the faster lap, but for the faster car. So, but even in the straight, the car is even faster from Geffner. So I don't know. I think so. If you're gonna be here and learn about this, you have to learn from these people because they have more experience. It's just only see the iRacing they have with him, and they have to learn about this is faster car, and they catch you in only 2 and 1 chicane. So. But
now we see Curbs. He's now approaching Morales into the tri-oval.
Let's see if it do the same thing or Levy pass. They're gonna Levy pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he hit it. No.
Whoa. Let's watch this again. Yes, he did. Now, I don't think he did that maliciously. I think he just overcooked the corner too much and ended up making contact that way.
Well, it's basically Morales brake before. And for sure, when you brake before, you have a more grip. And Jan just brake in the racing line. So that's why this is happening.
And Jesper Eriksson flashing the lights at Morales, telling him to get out of the way. Looking in chat, asking where is Fredrickson. Fredrickson currently is in 6th at the moment. Now, I guess we looked, you saw he was in 4th, but Oscar's moved down to 6th now. And with the pit stops over, if you're just joining us, this is P1's coverage of the eGP Hypercar Sprint Series coming to you from Daytona. Where we've completed... this is getting... about 24 laps of a scheduled 29. There's a 45-minute time limit here. If you're joining P1's coverage today, and if you don't mind, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race here on P1. which is scheduled to be next week when these very same cars will be at Road Atlanta for the third and final round of this exhibition season of the Hypercar Series, Sprint Series. Later tonight, if you want to pick up some more iRacing action, you can follow me over on the Elite Racing Network. Easiest thing to do is just go up into the search field in YouTube, type in Elite Racing Network. You'll see their logo, bright green, day glow green, and click on that, go to their channel, and hit the notify me button of tonight's race of the IndyCar iRacing Series at Montreal tonight. That'll be the top split at 9 p.m. Really, until they start the Pro Series. The IIS is the predominant IndyCar series on the platform. Once they start the Pro Series, which will be tomorrow, it would have been last week, but there was some DDoS attacks on the iRacing service that prevented a lot of races from launching last week. That included not just the IndyCar Road to Pro, but also the NASCAR Road to Pro. So this will be the first weekend for the IndyCar Pro Series qualifiers. They are going to be at Long Beach. Check local listings there on iRacing to see where you might be able to watch those races at. But tonight, IIS, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Elite Racing Network. Myself, Antonio Estrada, Kyle Clinsworth, we will bring you the action there. 100% length races. And Montreal is the stand-in for Toronto since Toronto is not on the service. The IIS mirrors the real-time or the real-life NTT IndyCar Series schedule. When they race, we race. That type of thing. 4 to go. Gessner still the leader. 3.4 seconds. He's pulled out little clips of grass there. That time on bus stop exit. And you can also join myself and also Kyle Clinsworth again on Friday at 2 p.m. on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Their car was in the lineup today. One of the early retired, unfortunately. The Vor car is with some contact early in the race. Is now classified in 11th. But 2 p.m. Eastern, the Vor Iconic Series, which is their DW12 series at, looks like Iowa, is going to be the choice. So it really looks like Jan is really catching in the infield area, but once they get back out onto the oval, it seems like that Acura is a little bit more slippier, if I can say that, a little bit more smoother in open air on the oval.
Yeah, so it's kind of that's a good thing about you have different cars and different setups. So I don't know if this is open setup or fixed set. So, but the difference between cars is really great, like a
I can tell real quick. I think it's fixed setup.
It's a fixed setup.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, but the cars is the different cars and the engine is different things. So that's a good thing to choose one and don't have all of them the same car. So it's getting close, but they still have 2 laps to go.
2 to go, yeah.
They have to do something. For example, now Gegner lost half a second on lap.
Yes.
Last lap.
And this is on the infield portion. This is where he seems to give up the time, but once he gets back out onto the oval, then it starts going back up again. But See, there it is, right there. He's going up now 3.5 second or 2.5 second lead. Two to go. Now that my understanding is that there's unlimited fast repairs, but some of it looks like some of the drivers turned the fast repairs off. And when they got to pit road with the damage, they had to go through the repair process. That's why a lot of those guys that I'm assuming that's why some of those guys didn't return. White flag in the air. Through turn one. Curbs now has it within 2 seconds, and he is on his part of the racetrack. Through the International Horseshoe, through the kink, into the Western Horseshoe. Curbs sends it in there. Last real braking zone here for a chance for the to get in there for the lead, diving in there. Gessner clear by 1.9. Really one more challenge now, the bus stop ahead of him. All he needs to do is get through that nice and smooth, and he can set sail for home in the checkered flag. Gessner now clear of the bus stop.
Oh, Jan, Jan got slowed down, so I can see. I saw how to brake. Actually, he's still braking, so to try to drop the.
And here is. Grab the right flag there. There he is. He grabs the right one. Checkered flag in the air. Nicholas Gessner. Jan Curbs. And where is Ericsson? Ericsson now coming through the tri-oval. There is your podium.
In 45 minutes, really a lot of dramas. But good race, good race.
All right, let's get today's final standings up here. And then get into the interview booth and see who would like to talk about their race. Gessner with the win, led 26 laps. Curbs as second. Another podium for Jan. Ericsson in his first start in the series. He is a third. Led 1 lap during pit stops. Dan Malachi, and again, hopefully I'm saying that right, finishes 4th. Very quiet day for him. Homer 5th. Fredrickson 6th. Don Michael Kremers is in 7th. Robert Sadler in the Technicolor Dreamcoat in 8th. Cedric Colblum, not the repeat week that he wanted. He finishes 9th. And David Morales, who had the bit in the mouth, so to speak. He did not want to give up that lap. He finishes 10th. That is your top 10. Julian Smith there finishes 11th. He had an incident right after the S's there with Yanish, who finished 12th, and Joe Foxhall in 13th. All right, let's take a look and see who might be in the interview booth room here. Jesper Eriksson. Let's see. Yeah, there he is. And here he is, Jesper Eriksson in the booth, finishing third today at Daytona. Jesper, you were very early there racing your teammate Oscar, and we thought when you were getting around him that you would kind of pull away from Oscar and kind of join the top two, but the top two were kind of in a class all by themselves, and you never really were quite able to catch or run them down. Talk about your race. Really, was it just a battle of being the next best in class behind the Ryder guys?
To be honest, for me personally, it was a tire saving race. The tires just went off in the beginning, and so yeah, quite hard just to save tires and keep the car on the tracks. The track was so hot, but yeah, the top two guys were just a class of their own. Absolutely rockets. No idea how they kept that pace. For me, it personally wasn't possible. Major props to those guys.
How do you save tires on a track like this when most of it is on a high-speed oval?
You brake, just be a lot more smooth with the car, and just turn safely on the throttle safely and high TC. That's how I do it.
Okay. Talk about the rest of your race though. Once you kind of got around, you got around Oscar up into the third spot, then just managing your tires. There was a point kind of when you were just kind of all by yourself. How hard is it when you're kind of all by yourself and you're really not gaining on the guys in front of you? You're pulling away from the guy behind you. But all this while you're just kind of all by yourself. How dangerous is it that you might just sit there and lose concentration, and then all of a sudden you have an off track? That's always in these cars. That's always a danger out there, especially when you get in those moments of boredom when it's just you racing the racetrack and nobody else.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's super easy to just drift off and think about other things. And with these cars, you gotta be so precise about absolutely everything. So it's quite easy to do, but just try to stay in it. With the experience, it's possible to not lose concentration. So that's how I roll.
What do you think about next week at Road Atlanta? It's going to be, you kind of have a wide racetrack here at Daytona. Now Road Atlanta is a lot more narrow of a racetrack. What do you think about these wide cars at that narrow racetrack coming up next week?
Couldn't be better. That track is such an awesome track. Absolutely love it. I know for sure Oscar would absolutely love it. It's his favorite track. So it's going to be fun. It's a lot more fun than this track for me personally. Not a big fan of this track, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of fans of this track, really. It's kind of we were talking about it in the pre-show. It's not a very technical track. That's why us oval drivers like it a lot. But we can see where it's not a very fun track to drive if you like a more technical track. Do you have any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors you'd like to say hi to before we let you go?
Oh, absolutely. The whole team. Major props to them. Super nice guys. And just Oscar, Cedric, and Holmer. Such nice guys to just sit and chat with while doing the race. And all the sponsors to the teams. Absolutely just props to them. And of course you guys for broadcasting and Rob for holding this league. Super fun.
Oh, no problem. We do our best. Good to see you for your first race this season. We'll hope to see you next week at Road Atlanta. But congratulations on the podium tonight.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
All right, and let's bring up Jan. Here he is, Jan, with us in the booth. We got a lot of...
Okay.
All right. Jan, you there? We had whatever you were listening to. It was pretty intense.
It was my Discord joining sounds. As soon as I join a channel, it starts playing because I'm like a Cadillac driver and I have to have that because that's giving you extra lap time, you know?
Ah, okay. Well, let's talk about your race. Another podium, second straight week in a row. Different type of racetrack, a lot less technical than we were last week. We did notice that that Nicholas was a lot faster than you on the oval portions of the racetrack, but when you were on the infield portion of the racetrack, that's when you seemed to gain on him the most. Is that where you really were more strength than him on the infield portion, where he was a lot more slipperier in the open air on the oval portion?
Well, yeah, It was a hard track, and I changed the setup accordingly to it. So I had more traction in the infield because the Cadillac requires a lot of rear traction and rotates a lot with the rear. And if I just drive any setup, it will just hook my rear tires, and after 5 laps, I'm done. So I increased my rear wing a bit, maybe a bit too much, and also some different springs on the rear, but that led to the fact that I lost a bit on the oval part. A compromise I was willing to take. Yeah, in the end, it was like a bit too short for me to have my tire advantage really work out, but it was, yeah. That's the explanation behind that.
No worries, no worries. There's another thing we don't see a lot with teams is kind of doing multiple makes of manufacturer. Your teammate was in the Acura, you were in the Cadillac. Why did you choose the Cadillac over the Acura? Just a preference over a manufacturer, or the car is more balanced to your driving style? What makes the Caddy the choice for Jan?
The sound.
The sound.
Yeah, it's like two complete different cars. Yes, of course, the Acura is a bit more understeer. The Cadillac is the complete opposite. Everybody has to work with that, and everybody has their own preferences. And yeah, I decided the Cadillac this week, and we were having some good development work going on in the past, having some setups and 1-2 clicks of adjustments, and it was ready to go for this race. And it wasn't even that far off pace, to be, yeah, as you saw probably.
Will you bring back the Cadillac next week, or maybe try something different?
It's Road Atlanta, right?
Yes.
I cannot promise, but I will try my best. But...
I like the Cadillac. I like the sound. So but again, you got to drive it for more than just the sound. But hey, congratulations though on the second straight podium here to start the this little exhibition season off. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. Anyone to say hi to before we let you go?
Yes, of course. As always, to the team standing behind, like everybody, we are like all working for one common goal, which is fast lap times and good racing. Doing a great job.
All right, fair enough. We will see you next week in Road Atlanta, which sounds like it's a favorite track for a lot of drivers. And maybe we'll see you behind the Cadillac. Maybe we'll see you behind something else. Congratulations. See you next week.
Yeah, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So this is a open setup.
It's open setup. That's a good thing.
Yep. So now let's bring on today's winner, Nicholas. Hey, Nicholas, congratulations on the win. You were by far on a class all by yourself up front. Everyone was saying this was a tire save race because of the temperature of the racetrack. How did you manage to have so much more pace over everyone and also try to save those tires at the same time?
I have to disagree. I don't think I was in a class of my own, and in the end it was quite close with Jan. Because he saved fuel.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I just burned off the fuel, burned off the rubber, and hoped to build up a gap that's big enough to compensate.
Well, I mean, you were a second faster just about than everyone else in qualification. I mean, that was kind of a bit of a hint that we kind of knew how this race was going to go. But we also noticed that your car was a lot faster than Jan's car on the super speedway portion, the oval portion of the speedway versus the infield. So we just you decided that you wanted to make the car, since so much of this racetrack is on the oval, to make this car as slippery as possible and shoot through the air more efficiently than everyone else, and that's kind of how you put your gap on everyone.
I don't think the Acura has its strong parts in terms of top speed. I think it's there are cars that have better top speed.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest point of the Acura is certainly the acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
And the traction and just the grunt out of the slow corners.
Understood. Well, do you have any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to before you go celebrate this win?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Reiter Engineering for giving me the opportunity to drive for them. And yeah, like that, the first station with paying them back.
All right. Well, yeah, they you guys did a great job on the team side of things, finishing 1 and 2. Getting your first win and your first start here in this exhibition season is also a great start. And then is Road Atlanta also another favorite track of yours as well? The other guys the other two that we've talked to seem to really like Road Atlanta.
Yeah, it's a decent track. Oh, and I think it's turn 3, the fast right-hander.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite difficult when you're pushing hard. But I have to check with work. That's also why I didn't take part in Portimao.
Well, work is important. So yeah, if it's not okay with the wife, and if it's not okay with work, then I say don't race. So congratulations on the win, sir. Hopefully, if everything's okay with work, we will see you at Road Atlanta next week.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. And we'll move him up into the lobby. There he goes. So we learned a lot there through the interview process. Nicholas, very modest on his pace. He feels that he was not in a class by himself. But if you ask Jesper, who finished third in the Swedish entry, Jesper, Jan and Nicholas were all in a class by themselves in 1 and 2, and everyone else was just kind of running down for third spot. That's kind of how I saw it too. I mean, just the guys at Ryder were so much faster than everyone else today.
Just basically, like you said, it's an open setup. If we figure out about the experience and everything, they know how to handle with the car, how to adjustments and stuff. That's the good thing about to work with this car every week and different series. So it's really it's between 1, 2, 3, like you said, and then every else on the back. So it's like I said, it's the setup. I hope it's maybe next season for this championship could be equal, but you can change it the cars, or it could be used the same car for entire season, because I know it's a test championship to beat in the next one. But what I'm gonna see here is like two different guys with two different experience.
Yeah.
And but hey, we learn about that. We learn about how to handle with this, and but what I said, it's a really good race today. It's really a kind of drama in the end, on the started, on the end, on the middle, everything. And was really nice race, and especially next one is gonna be Atlanta. Is really kind of dangerous in the first, especially the restarted first corner. Who's gonna happen, and then the S on the
yeah.
I think it's 2, 3, or 4 or something like that.
5
or something like that. So it's gonna be a good drama. I hope it's gonna be a more cars for that race, but more cars, more drama for sure. And yeah, good race today, and let's see next one.
All right, checking chat real quick before you get. Dave said he didn't mean to hit him. He just turned into me. Well, you know, sometimes that stuff happens out there on the racetrack. Long as everyone is in good spirits afterwards, it's kind of all that matters. Accepting responsibility is a big part of sportsmanship. So hopefully that is all resolved before we get to the next race. So that is it today. Once again, your podium from the World Center of Speed, Daytona International Speedway. Nicholas Gessner is your winner. His teammate Jan Kurbs is second, and Jesper Eriksson is third. Join us again next week for the third and final round of the eGP Hypercar Sprint Series as we head to the home of Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta. Coverage begins around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 2:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything here on YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of today's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage or today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell, would you? So you don't miss out on more of other P1, other iRacing programming that we got coming up. And we got a lot of it. As more and more we wrap up our commitments on other channels, more and more stuff will be launching here on P1. Just keep your eyes open for it. Track cams today provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Thank you to Whiplash for being the official camera pack provider for P1 Broadcasting. To learn more about Whiplash, follow them on Twitter or like them on Facebook. The links are in the description. So for LGN, everyone here at P1, I'm Gary Gosselin saying all good night. Thanks for watching. Actually say good day and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week in Road Atlanta for the next race of the eGP Hypercar Sprint Series. See ya.